This result is clearly not up to my expectations. It isn't catastrophic, but when you've got victory in mind, it's obviously a disappointment.
Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to the Tour de France 2020 playthrough with Team Ineos. Today it is time for stage number 7, but before we continue, as with every one of these videos, we'll have a quick look back at what happened in stage number 6. Now, the team manager wasn't too pleased with what happened, but personally, there wasn't really too much we could have done about it, and the times don't look as bad as first thought, because De Gendt won the race by 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Quite unbelievable, really. So, Grant Thomas finishing 4 minutes and 57 behind him wasn't really as bad as it might seem, and Bernal finished 5 minutes behind. All of our guys, apart from Dennis and Castro Vieja, but our big three contenders all finished in the top 20. Very happy with that in the classification. We got some points in the points classification as well. Young rider of the race was Bernal, and we led the team classification. But obviously the most important thing is not just the stage, but the overall standings. And Grant Thomas has moved up by 2 places to go within 1 minute and 17 seconds of the yellow jersey man, Fuchs Lang, riding for the Astana team. We've got Roglic and Pino in there, so want to keep an eye on those 3 riders, because we could lose touch with those 3 if we're not careful in the next stage. Bernal is in 14th place. Our objective is actually to win the Tour de France with Bernal, but I keep banging on about it, but I think what happened in stage 2 has already lost the Tour de France for Bernal. But we can try and experiment, and maybe for a fluke we can get him back up there. But Grant Thomas is our main hope at the moment. In the best climber classification, we've got Kwiatkowski in the top 10, Carapaz just outside, and Grant Thomas in 15th. In the points classification, Dennis still got 67 points, courtesy of that stage win in stage 5, and Grant Thomas moves down 1 place to 11th. But those guys, the 2 of those, fairly competitive in that classification. Young riders, we've got Bernal, who's in 3rd place, below Evenepoel and Pogacar. And then team classification, we lead that in the capacity. Gegenhardt was the leader of that, unfortunately, until he wasn't classified in stage number 5, and that means he's out of the Tour de France. But we look forward now to stage number 7.
The main thing to grasp today is that the route is flat and it harbours no particular difficulties. A sprint finish is more than likely. This stage is of no interest to us. Keep cozy inside the peloton. Have a good stage.
Hello and welcome to all. Given the profile of today's stage, it's clear that the sprinters will have ambitions for victory. It would be very surprising if they don't harness their teammates to target a mass sprint in the streets of Lavaur.
Okay then folks, 164 kilometres is the stage today. And we start with Dennis because our team manager wants Dennis to be part of today's breakaway. That is the only objective that we have got for today's race. So we're going to go straight away. No mucking about. So there's only us who have gone at the moment. Probably consumed some of our feed. This is bloody annoying me now. I don't like the... put effort control on. And we'll just get some of our pink gel down us already. But as you can see, it's just ourselves and Kelderman in this breakaway. So it might be worth just slowing down a tad. The rest of our guys are all in the peloton. But as hinted at before, the rest of us in the breakaway. So we're talking about our guy here.
Given his not inconsiderable speed.
You're 1 minute 30 ahead of the peloton. It's looking good.
It is looking good. So we've got a breakaway. It's only 3 men in this breakaway at the moment. But this is looking good at the moment. Very good. But we'll head back to the peloton shortly. There is a bit of a climb that potentially we can take advantage of. But our only... Ooh. Well, there you go. Luckily, we get our pink gel, etc. back. And we're going to stay with Dennis because the climb is coming up very soon. 4 kilometres.
He doesn't seem to want to let you have more of a lead, and his teammates are pushing hard. It's going to be a game of cat and mouse.
It's just ourselves and Kelderman at the front at the moment. It'd be great if he caught up at any time soon. But we'll just keep with Kelderman. We'll follow him up this climb, if we can. Maybe not. Try and gain a little bit on him, then follow him. We've been exerting ourselves a little bit too much, so... exposing ourselves, rather. So we'll just get in behind him. There's only really 3 guys in for the points here. Campernerts. As you can see, Kelderman not really challenging for the standings either. Any other standings? Just points classification. So I think this is more of a knee-jerk reaction, personally, to us going up the climb. But 2 kilometres from the top. Be nice to get some early points here. As you can see, here's the other rider coming to us. So it's going to be a very small breakaway. There's a few others. Demarchi in a group of his own in the 3rd group. A few in that 4th group. And there's a few riders in trouble apparently behind. I just need to keep watching now. There's 1.5 kilometres to go for this mountain. But we're usually pretty good at these. We've got quite experience at these with, was it Gegenhardt? Unfortunately, we lost all the points because he wasn't classified. But we're not interested in Dennis in the overall standings. So obviously it is believed that we ought to go for it in the climbs. So there's 3 of us in this group. And we have led from the start in this group. And it's now time to go for this climb. We might have gone a little bit late here. But still 0.5 kilometre to go. Don't want to blow up before the top. Need to manage that. Okay, come on. Over. And that should be 2 points. Excellent.
You were first over the top of the climb. That's good.
So no real highlights now until we get to that 2nd climb. Not much going on. We just got to sustain this breakaway. We've got a 3 minutes and 20-second gap to the rest of the field. And probably this ride with Dennis is going to be the most interesting part today. Because the rest of our guys are just going to be in the peloton. As it says there, we're not going to strain ourselves during the flat stages. But Dennis doing pretty well inside the breakaway. Campernert's a little while behind. But this is just a 3-man breakaway at the moment. Just before I provide an update before we get to the next climb. As you can see, the breakaway has got a little bit bigger. None of us really challenging for that overall classification, but we're the best placed for the points classification. We've got a few points, of course, in the mountains there as well. But in terms of breakaways, it's interesting. Demarchi is 2nd in the compatibility standings. And we've got a gap of 3 minutes and 13 to the peloton. No smaller groups, just 2 groups. Just this breakaway a la peloton. Nice and easy. But there's a climb coming up soon. We'll also get the chance to get a new feed, which maybe we shouldn't have used with Dennis earlier. It should just be okay. But again, no real updates needed. It's all going okay at the front of this breakaway. And we'll see if we can get some more points on this next climb. We're going to be a little bit tricky because there's a few more guys to contend with here. So here we are approaching the next climb. It's been a long climb, a climb of 13.9 kilometres, but not really a steep one. Still 7 of us in this breakaway, as you can see, and we lead that breakaway at the moment. A chance for 5 points. It's a 2nd category climb, so a good chance for 5 points. Points for the top 4 here. I think it goes 5, 4, 2, and 1. But no rush to go for anything yet. As I said before, we've about 0.7 or 0.8 kilometres to go. But this is going decently for Dennis at the moment. Obviously, the breakaway are losing a little bit of time to the leads, which is to be expected. Because up these hills, the breakaway are going to struggle a little bit. But still quite a way ahead of the peloton. So 2.5 kilometres to go. Again, still the same group, obviously. We're good to challenge for the points. And we haven't got any points in the mountains yet. But obviously, that's changed with the few points we've got earlier, and hopefully we'll get some points here as well. You know, I believe that if you're in it, you might as well give it a go. So 2 kilometres to go. Just keeping it nice and cool at the front of this group.
You are 2 kilometres from the top.
Strange to see so many US flags and that. I mean, I don't know what that flag is on the right we've just gone past. Don't know at all. But expect some of these guys to go fairly early. I'm not really too concerned about that.
He's the best puncher in the breakaway.
Apparently Kelderman is the best puncher in the breakaway. We'll just start to increase our tempo a little bit so we don't get caught napping. And that is confirmation that we are now a kilometre away. The best time to go, as we've seen, is roughly with about 0.7 to go. And there we go. Let's go for it. Come on. I don't think we're going to do it. We're going to struggle. Over. We're going to get over it in a second, but we've got a break. And that was okay. Absolutely fine. It is tricky over those climbs. Kelderman, they did say, was the best puncher, but 3 points. Can't really complain there. So it's just a nice reprieve now towards the downhill section. We've got a Bahrain McLaren rider in here as well, just above us, turns. But a nice downhill now. So 3 elements of this stage to go, really, in terms of scoring points. We've got a 4th category climb, only a small hill, though, it seems. Hence why it's only a 4th category climb. And then we've got the 2 sprints to come up. And Dennis, we are definitely challenging for the points classification. So that would be a big point to try and get some points in those sprints. Here we are then for the final climb of the day. 3 kilometres away from it. As you can see, it's not quite started yet. But getting nice and cosy behind Campinerts. Just the 1 point available for the top guy over the climb. But what we're really trying to get with Dennis is some points in the point standings. We'll go for it with Dennis, and then after we get past that sprint with Dennis, we'll go back to Grant Thomas, because of course there is a chance to get some points for him. The top 15 get points, but as I've just said, yep, 1 point for the polka dot jersey classification over this little climb, and then we'll come down for the first of 2 sprints. This one worth 20 points, I believe, and then I think I'm right in saying the final one is worth 50, but we're actually a lot closer to the top than I imagined we would be. So let's go. It's going to be tricky to get to the top here, but we'll go for it. Come on. Don't want to burn out before the top. Oh, it's going to be tight. We're going to do it. No, not quite. Oh well. That's absolutely fine. So next we'll focus on the sprint. Got over it in front. That's got over it in second even, which is absolutely fine. The sprint I don't think is too far away. Be great if we get some points. As you can see, the sprint is 5 kilometres away.
There will be 20 points for whoever is first over the line.
20 points, that would be great for us, really would. Just try and get a little bit better placed in this group. Where's Simon? Is he at the back? He might well be. But again, they've got opportunity to score some points at least. Nobody will go yet, I don't think. Consume a bit of our feed. Only a slight amount. Don't know who Simon is. He must be this one at the back, because I haven't seen his name pop up yet. But 8 points available in the peloton, so we'll go with it with Grant Thomas. So we'll go with just under a kilometre to go. Depends how many of these guys are bothered about the sprint, I guess. But we're going to go. Come on, Dennis. Can we get over it first? Don't think we're quite going to do it. Throw it over the line. We'll take second. We will take second every day of the week. Great stuff. 17 points. So, let's get back inside the peloton. Set a high tempo. And we'll ride with Geraint Thomas. And try and get some points. There's 8 points available for the top guy here. And again, we'll go with about a kilometre to go here. A little bit more complicated inside the peloton to get any points. Come on, Geraint. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Come on. Hopefully we don't burn out before we get there. And over the line, we get 8th. Nice. Just break there. No point exerting ourselves too much. We did say to our guys to hold at high tempo, but none of the others getting any points there. But good stuff in terms of the points classification. So we'll go back on board with Dennis very quickly. And we'll just have to see how we get on. And see if we can hold off the peloton, sorry. I mean, there's 3 minutes between the peloton and the breakaway, so pretty impressive. We're going to set a high tempo, I think, with our guys, so we'll just follow Castro Viejo. But, yeah, we'll have to see how we get on. And I'll see you guys in roughly about the last 10 kilometres. 10 kilometres to go till the finish, and it seems that the breakaway isn't going to be able to catch us up at the front, but I've told Bernal, Geraint Thomas and Kwiatkowski to try and potentially make an attack, just to reduce the time between the peloton and this group at the front. Bernal's going for it, but have the others bothered? Grant Thomas seems to be trying, but Bernal can't go alone. So we've got a chance for Dennis to win his second stage. Bernal is now joined by Vellens from another team. Bernal's all worked out though, so we'll get him to consume a feed.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
Grant Thomas now in that group as well. Oh, but Grant Thomas apparently is going alone now. Grant making up some good pace, 1:30. I'll tell you what, he could well join this leading group. Making up some really good pace, but he could be knackered in the process. But this looks good. So can Dennis win the stage? Just check how much Grant Thomas is exerting himself. Just tell him to consume a feed of red gel.
Okay, I'll consume a
But look at the gap. Grant Thomas is bringing it down. But that being said, look at the peloton as well.
Peloton is 1 minute away.
So I'm just going to probably tell Grant just to, yeah, continue the effort. But it looks like the peloton's going to keep up. So just ensure a minimum tempo. It's absolutely fine. And it looks like it's confirmed that, well, they said the peloton wouldn't catch up, but the peloton absolutely will. Grant Thomas now joins the group as well as the whole peloton.
the overall standings.
So we're now joined. We're now going to get on board with our main rider. You take a feed of blue, so do you. And Grant Thomas now is our main rider. The peloton all back together. I think there's one of our guys, unfortunately, that's dropped out of that main group. Castro Viejo. Just stick to the wheels in front.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
But as you can see, everything is quite wide open really here. But not really a concern for us here, this sprint stage. But obviously for Dennis and for Geraint, it'd be great to do well. Just keep up with this high tempo.
Kilometers. We are heading for a mass sprint.
This should be interesting, shouldn't it? Just try and get well placed with Geraint Thomas. The rest of our guys are up there, which is brilliant. Spearheaded, I think, by Bernal. We're just over 3 kilometres to go.
3 kilometres for the peloton. The sprint is inevitable.
This should be exciting. Someone's accelerating, but I'm not going to take the bait. I'm not going to take the bait. We'll just go as normal. We'll just follow Dennis here. 1.5 kilometres to go in this stage. We'll go over about 1 kilometre to go. So here we go with Geraint Thomas. Here we go. The sprint's been launched. Come on, Geraint. Can't quite make it to the front, but it's going to be a decent place.
Watch out. You're not going to be
Throw the bike over the line, and Geraint Thomas finishes in 10th. Not too bad there at all. Bernal, he's, I think, coming over the line now, so no bother with that. Can't complain about all our guys. We did pretty well in the end there. Don't know what Gegenhardt is still doing there. That was a glitch in the last stage as well, but a very much a shorter stage today. But we've got some valuable points. Obviously, Geraint's just scored some points, more points in the points classification to add to his, I think, 8 he got earlier. Great stuff. Let's have a look at the results. It's a real shock how quickly the peloton caught the breakaway, because it seems that it had finished, but maybe that attack from Bernal perhaps won and lost it for us in some ways. So Sagan takes the stage victory. The Astana rider, I think, is still leading the points classification. Yep, Fuchslang. Sorry, the general classification. I always get them. I don't know why. I always think they get the general classification first, but clearly not. I think we finished in front of Fuchslang, so we'll have to have a look. But Geraint Thomas might have made a little bit of time upon him, albeit a second or two, but every little helps. Points, Sagan now leads that as well after winning the stage. No surprise there. And with the polka dot jersey is De Gent. So final jersey, I think they've all been held after this stage. Pogacar gets the young rider classification. Let's have a quick look at the results then and what that means for the overall standings.
Well done, lads. You rode a very good stage. Finishing in the top 10, even though the stage didn't suit us, is very satisfying.
Great stuff. As you can see, everybody, Castro Viejo dropped back, unfortunately, but apart from that, we all finished respectively. Sagan and Van Aert and Van Avermaet get a few bonuses, but all of our opponents, I think, in there as well. So, the interesting bit. Best climber, Dennis bagged himself 5 points. It's going to be interesting. Points classification. Dennis gets himself 17. Obviously, that big sprint at the end was massive. But Dennis got 17. Thomas got 15. Young rider, Bernal is in 5th there. And team classification, we're in 9th. No problem. And Dennis gets some compatibility for being in the breakaway for 151 kilometres. So, in the general classification, well, not much has changed, to be quite honest, has it? Because everybody finished pretty close together. Is there anybody that's dropped down, though? I don't think so. It looks like everybody has kept their place. Bennett's dropped down a little bit, so Dennis gains 1 place. But I think it's pretty much all as usual. A few dropped down, but nothing massive here. It's going to be the other classifications where losses are made. Or gains are made, rather. So Kwiatkowski stays in the top 10 again. Pest Climber, there was only a few points available. Dennis got his first 5 points, I think. I don't know. Points. Dennis stays where he is. Thomas moves up 4 places. We're still competitive in that, which is encouraging to see. Young rider, Bernal in 3rd. And team classification, we remain at the top. And Dennis moves up to 3rd in the compatibility classification. So not really much change there, just making sure we stayed where we are. But still, Grant Thomas remains in the top 4. Grant's condition, though, doesn't look very good. So the next stage, I'm hoping it's not a big one. But let's find out.
It's a day in the mountains. The finish isn't decided at the top of the climb, but the route is challenging, and it's an important day for the general classification. You will have to be there on the final climb if we are to do well. I'm not too worried. I think we're able to win the stage, outdistancing the other favourites. Have a good day, guys. Come on, we're aiming for victory.
Very interesting. We're among the favourites to win this next stage. Again, Bernal's the man, but really Grant Thomas is the one we're going to be focusing on here. So, 2 sprints, a few climbs, and it'll be very interesting. As you can see, that descent is going to be very awkward, and hopefully we don't fall. But if there's a mass fall, it could well just split the field massively. We saw that in stage number 5, and we could see a repeat of that here. But that will be tomorrow's stage on the channel, as of every other stage at 1 PM. So subscribe for, subscribe to see daily Tour de France content, and hit that notification button to get notifications daily of the new Tour de France content. Comment your thoughts on any tips and tricks, and subscribe, as I said before, for regular Tour de France content. I don't think I mentioned to leave a like. That's also very important as well. But thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, I've been CIJ Gaming, and I'll see you guys later on. Goodbye for now.